Ever felt that nagging sense of inefficiency? Like you're caught in a loop doing something the same clunky way day in and day out, even when you know there has to be a better path.
Oh, definitely. We've all been there.
Or maybe you've just wondered what it truly takes to eliminate waste, streamline something, and make a process flow like a well-oiled machine. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your source material and extract the absolute best, most insightful nuggets for you. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into the fascinating world of process improvement specifically. We're pulling back the curtain on what makes a true process improvement specialist tick and what interviewers are really looking for when they ask those probing questions.
That's right. Our sources today are a set of common interview questions for process improvement specialists. But we're not just giving you, rote answers. We're dissecting why these questions are asked, what they reveal about someone's deeper understanding, and the fundamental, sometimes counterintuitive principles of making things genuinely better.
Exactly. Our mission for you today is kind of a shortcut to being well-informed, to understand the core competencies, the gnarly challenges, and the strategic thinking involved in truly improving processes. We're going to imagine ourselves inside, let's say, Efficient Innovations, Inc., a company trying to perfect its employee onboarding process, maybe, and see how a top-tier process improvement specialist would think through each step.
Good example.
So whether you're interviewing for a role, leading a team, or just curious about optimizing everything around you, you're going to walk away with some genuine aha moments. So what does this all mean? Let's unpack this. We're going to start with what sounds like a simple, almost philosophical question. What does your ideal process improvement look like? It sounds straightforward, but what does an interviewer really gain from asking this? And for our hypothetical company, Efficient Innovations, Inc., what would an ideal onboarding process look like?
Yeah, this question is brilliant because it immediately cuts through the fluff and gauges a specialist's vision. It's not just about speed. An ideal improvement, in essence, is streamlined, efficient, effective, yes, but crucially, it's also adaptable and proactive. It should eliminate waste and redundancy, sure, but the real ideal isn't just about making things faster. It's about building processes so robust that they automatically flag issues almost before they become problems.
Huh. Proactive. I like that.
Yeah. For onboarding, that means a new hire isn't just ticking boxes. They're integrated, productive, and feeling valued almost from day one, with any snags immediately visible.
So it's not just about getting from A to B faster, but building something resilient that can flex and self-correct. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
But how do you do it? How do you take that ideal vision and translate it into reality? The next question often asked is, how have you been able to effectively improve processes in the past? What does this question reveal about a candidate's real-world experience beyond just, the theory?
Right. This gets right to their practical application and, more importantly, their methodology. It's not about a magic bullet, right? It shows how they approach the entire improvement life cycle, how they identify the real inefficiencies, not just the obvious ones, how they design and implement changes to streamline, solicit feedback from those directly involved, because the people doing the work, they often hold the keys to understanding the process.
Good point.
And then continuously monitor and iterate. You have to ensure desired effects and identify further improvements. It's a loop, really, a loop of continuous learning.
So for that onboarding example.
Yeah, maybe they tried a new digital form, got feedback that it was clunky on mobile, and then quickly pivoted to an app-based solution, that kind of thing.
And of course, it's never smooth sailing, is it?
Yeah.
We've all been there, trying to change something and hitting a wall.
Oh, yeah.
What challenges have you faced with process improvement? This sounds like a trap question. But what does it really uncover about a specialist? Some might argue resistance is just people being stubborn.
It's absolutely not a trap. I mean, interviewers expect challenges. It reveals an individual's ability to overcome obstacles and drive change, often through persuasion and understanding. Common challenges certainly include getting everyone on board or achieving buy-in. And it's rarely about stubbornness. It's more often about fear of the unknown, fear of losing control.
Or fear their job might change.
Exactly. Fear their job might change or even become redundant. Another big challenge is just maintaining momentum and motivation, especially when results aren't immediate. Process improvement can take time. And then there's the paradox of knowing when to stop making changes to avoid overcomplication, the point of diminishing returns. It truly tests creativity and resourcefulness because you can't just apply a standard fix to human challenges.
That makes sense. Okay, before you can fix something, you have to know it's broken. And sometimes it's not overtly broken, just
Hmm.
underperforming.
Right.
So for Efficient Innovations Inc.'s onboarding process, how would a specialist assess whether it's truly in need of improvement? What are the subtle or obvious warning signs?
Okay, so this gauges their diagnostic thinking. It's about looking beyond the surface symptoms. Key indicators could be high customer complaints in onboarding. That means new hires complaining about confusion or feeling lost.
Uh,
Excessive rework, like forms filled out incorrectly multiple times, or long cycle times, meaning it takes weeks for a new hire to get their laptop and access. That's a big one.
yeah.
High early employee turnover or frequent errors in payroll or benefits due to poor initial setup. If these are present, it screams issue. But what's fascinating here is that a true deep dive doesn't just stop at identifying these symptoms, it immediately triggers a root cause analysis to pinpoint the specific underlying problems.
Okay.
For onboarding, are new hires leaving because the process is slow or because they feel unsupported from day one? The root cause analysis uncovers that truth.
Got it. So once you've identified a process needing help, what's in the process improvement specialist toolkit? You mentioned root cause analysis, but what other tools and techniques do you use for process improvement? It's not just a hammer for every nail, right?
You're absolutely right. It's a diverse toolbox. You wouldn't use a wrench to hammer in a nail, would you?
No.
Common ones include process mapping, which visually represents every step, process flow analysis to understand the movement of work, and value stream mapping, which is fantastic for seeing the entire journey of a product or service, including wasted steps.
Value stream mapping. Tell me more about that for the onboarding example.
Sure. So for onboarding, value stream mapping would track a new hire from the moment they get the offer letter right through to, say, their first week productivity. It reveals where delays hide, where information gets lost, where value is actually added, and where it isn't.
Interesting.
Then there are more data-intensive tools like process capability analysis, which tells you if your process is inherently capable of consistently hitting targets, not just occasionally. And methodologies like Six Sigma, often used when you need to drive near-perfect quality by rigorously reducing variation through data-driven approaches. The crucial part, though, is understanding the specific problem first, then selecting the best-suited tools, not the other way around.
You mentioned process mapping quite a bit. What are your thoughts on process mapping? What's the big deal with visually representing a process? Is it just about drawing boxes and arrows?
Oh, it's anything but just boxes and arrows. Process mapping is vital for visualizing a process to really understand it, especially when it involves multiple departments or steps no one fully owns.
Right.
It helps identify bottlenecks or inefficiencies that are completely invisible until you map them out. I remember one time mapping a simple expense report process. We found like 5 steps that were pure duplication, done by different people nobody realized.
Wow.
It's an excellent tool for communicating a clear and concise overview of a process to others, especially for our onboarding example. Everyone from HR to IT to the new hire themselves can see their role, identify handover points, and spot where things might fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
It creates a shared mental model, you know?
Yeah, that shared understanding seems critical, which leads nicely to the next point. Improving a process isn't a solo act. It often involves many people, sometimes reluctantly. How do you involve others in the process improvement process? Why is collaboration so critical, especially if people are hesitant to change?
Well, this question reveals an understanding of human dynamics, not just technical skills. It's about showing that you grasp the importance of involvement and have the ability to communicate and work with others effectively. This isn't just about telling people what to do, it's about co-creation. It means involving people in planning stages through informal discussions, formal meetings, even Gemba walks, going to where the work is actually being done to observe and ask questions.
Gemba walks. Like going to the source.
Exactly. And then getting feedback after changes are implemented via surveys, interviews, focus groups. When people feel heard and have a hand in designing the new process, they own it.
Ownership.
And that's the best defense against resistance. They become advocates, not obstacles.
That's a great insight. So once improvements are made, how do you ensure they stick? How do you ensure that improvements are sustainable? It's easy for old habits to creep back in. It's almost like trying to maintain a new fitness routine. The initial burst of enthusiasm fades.
That's a perfect analogy. Sustainability is paramount because a non-sustainable improvement is, well, it's no improvement at all in the long run.
Right.
Key elements include setting up clear systems to track progress, not just spreadsheets, but sometimes dedicated software that gives real-time visibility. Then, ensuring everyone involved understands not just what changed, but why it's important to sustain these improvements.
How do you do that?
Often through ongoing training and sometimes even incentives, though you have to be careful with those. Putting procedures in place to prevent backsliding, like regular audits or review cycles, is critical. And finally, being flexible and adaptable. Processes aren't static, they evolve, so you have to be ready to make adjustments as the environment or business needs change. For onboarding, that might mean regular check-ins with new hires to catch any emerging issues or quarterly reviews of the process itself. Keep it alive.
So you've done all this work. How do you know it's truly working? What metrics do you use to measure success with process improvement? And, maybe more subtly, how do you know when a process is truly improved? Is it just about saving money?
That's a crucial point. It's rarely just about money, though cost reduction is often a happy byproduct, sure.
Right.
There are several metrics beyond comparing simple before and after costs. You look at customer satisfaction levels for onboarding, that's new hire satisfaction before and after the initiative. Employee satisfaction levels are important too, because a better process reduces frustration for the team running it.
Makes sense.
And then you need to think about specific operational metrics. Decreased cycle time, how quickly a new hire is set up, reduced errors, fewer payroll mistakes, and increased quality. New hires feel prepared and productive faster. A process is truly improved when there's a measurable increase in efficiency, quality, and satisfaction. It's about finding the right leading indicators, things that tell you if you're on track before it's too late.
Predictive metrics.
Yeah, not just lagging indicators that tell you what already happened last quarter.
Okay, looking at the big picture now, across all these steps, you had to pick one thing. What do you think is the most important factor for successful process improvement?
Ooh, that's a tough one. There are several key ingredients.
Yeah.
While a clear and concise goal is crucial for focus, and the right tools definitely make a difference, I think the single most important factor is commitment.
Commitment from leadership.
Yes, but not just from leadership. From everyone involved in the process. Without genuine buy-in and a willingness to embrace change, lasting improvements are incredibly difficult. It takes courageous leadership to initiate and support change, absolutely. But it also takes psychological safety for employees to speak up about what's really happening and to experiment with new ways.
Psychological safety.
That's key. Following that, you absolutely need the necessary skills and knowledge to identify areas for improvement and adequate resources to implement changes. But without that bedrock of commitment, even the best plans can falter.
And what about the flip side? What are the major roadblocks? What are the biggest challenges to effective process improvement? It seems like there's always something.
There are almost always dragons to slay, as you say. As we touched on, resistance from employees is often cited, but again, I think it's more about a lack of understanding or fear, usually.
Right.
Another significant challenge is lack of resources, but that often means a lack of perceived value for the improvement, leading to underinvestment. People won't fund what they don't value, and then unrealistic expectations, thinking process improvement is some kind of magic wand that fixes everything overnight.
Yeah, setting expectations is important.
Definitely. But maybe the biggest challenge can simply be getting started without a clear plan or goal. It's that analysis paralysis thing. Buy-in from all employees is essential for success, and it's vital to have realistic expectations. Process improvement isn't a magic fix-all, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and it requires consistent effort.
Okay, finally, let's talk about forward thinking. What role does innovation play in process improvement? Is it just about fixing what's broken or also about finding entirely new ways of doing things that no one has even considered?
Oh, innovation is absolutely critical, and it's what separates good process improvement from great transformative change. It allows organizations to identify and implement new ways of doing things.
Not just tweaks.
Exactly. Yeah. Leading to significant, sometimes revolutionary performance improvements, not just incremental tweaks. Think about how Amazon completely reinvented logistics. That wasn't just optimization, that was innovation.
Right, a totally different model.
Yeah. Successful initiatives often require innovation to develop and implement new processes or enhancements. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it helps identify entirely new opportunities for improvement and creates creative solutions to those stubborn, seemingly intractable problems. It's about asking, what if we didn't do it this way at all?
That's powerful. So we've taken a deep dive into what it means to be a process improvement specialist, peeling back the layers on how they think, what tools they use, and the challenges they overcome. We've seen that it's not just about tweaking, it's about a comprehensive approach to efficiency, quality, and effectiveness, often requiring a blend of technical know-how and deep human understanding.
That's right. Whether through clear goals, a deep commitment from everyone involved, the smart application of tools like, say, value stream mapping, or a bold embrace of innovation, true process improvement is about making things fundamentally better, more sustainable, and ultimately more successful, evolving from what is to what could be.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Next time you find yourself grappling with a repetitive task at work, or even a personal routine that feels clunky, perhaps making coffee in the morning or planning your weekly errands,
Hmm.
instead of just pushing through, maybe consider, is there a process at play here? And if so, what would your ideal process improvement look like for that specific situation? What would be the before and after metrics you'd use to know it was truly improved beyond just feeling better? Could you even innovate a completely new way of doing it? Something to think about.
Okay.